In today's podcast, we're going to talk about how to develop your game in such a way that you play like Messi. You can be Messi-like, I promise you. You can definitely do that through this simple process of recording everything you do by mom or dad or friend, spectator, grandma, grandpa. Somebody must record it or record the game itself. You record yourself. But parents, coaches, you can use simple math to actually teach the game in such a way that they will develop and play like Messi. You can totally do this. You totally can do this, and we're going to talk about this on episode 551. So the development in the game of soccer for youth, college, whatever, if you want to progress in your game, for me, it's very simple, and it's done through playing games, as many as possible. Practice is one thing, but games is number one. Why? Because there is so much adrenaline and hormones pumping through your body to all your receptors to help you remember whatever you did, whether it being good or bad, help make things really permanent. Now, that could be good or bad. So if you're able to receive the ball in the game and make a good decision and have success in a game environment and where it's stressful or whatever it may be, you will be able to repeat that performance over and over again because of feelings generated during that game. Manipulating the brain is very difficult. That's why a lot of failures in the game, like, players that are kids you grew up with, or you know who they are as far as why didn't they make it, why didn't they play Division I, why didn't they play professional. It's because it's up here. You have to be able to manipulate your brain. So how you manipulate that in a game environment is you must have a great coach, which should be called manager, by the way. A great manager, not the team mom, a manager, a coach that wants to manage these opportunities, and really good mom or dad or guardian or whoever you are that's supporting this child's development, the opportunity to receive data. How did they do? Versus, did we win? No, we lost kind of mentality BS. How did you do? Focus on the individual. But before we do that, I'm going to show you a video of me and my son going to his game. That was yesterday. The car ride and the conversation that we had, and it really hammers home the importance of development resides in mom and dad and player. So let's look at. You don't even defend. You need to find an opportunity to get the ball more often, not from your teammates, from the opposition. Find a way to intercept passes and make tackles like a man. That's how you should talk to your child. Now, if your coach says you to switch the point of attack, what do you do?
Say what? Switch.
If your coach tells you to, when you get the ball, to switch it, what do you do?
Switch it?
No, you don't switch it. You look up and you make your own decision. You never listen to the coach. The coach doesn't know what they're talking about. That is true. The coach doesn't know what they're talking about. If they knew what they were talking about, if all these coaches in America knew what they were talking about, I think our men's national team would have made the last World Cup. They did not. Why? Because they're poorly managed and they get a lot of average players. But they're poorly managed as kids. It's so frustrating to me that there's a Canadian last name Davies, who just won the Champions League. He's better than any left back or right back we've ever had on the U.S. men's national team. How is that possible from Canada? What are they doing? That's another podcast, which I do cover that, I think, like 4 podcasts ago or 5 podcasts ago. But getting back to the importance of the coach does not matter. If the coach is trying to be coach and trying to win and taking credit for a goal that was scored, and they connected passes, and they had a nice finish, and the coach is like, oh, we worked on that last game. Remove your kid from that team immediately, because that is an ego-driven coach. We all have egos, but they're useless. Change your ego, coach. Change it. Your ego should be about what do they become, and this can be done through math. So mom, dad, coach, manager, grandma, grandpa, whoever, if you want to really influence the game for a player that you care about, do it through math. Here is the math that my son and I are going through right now. And I've always done data, always, with college players. I've developed an app that failed miserably. I got to remake that kind of kept track of these things, because I think it's important. I always had parents keeping track of how many times they touch the ball and which direction they pass it. But here's the data I kept for my son for the last 2 games. So on the 23rd, he had a game against Classic, and it was a 3-3 score. I think knowing the score is very important, because then you know how difficult the game was, because that should tell you the rest of the data and how it should be skewed. 0 goals, 0 assists, 41 minutes and 38 seconds played. That's important to know how much time the player played. And 45 total touches. 9 of those opportunities on the ball were successful passing the ball forward. 5 were failed passing the ball forward. 6 were successful passing the ball backwards. 0 failures passing the ball backwards. Takeaways 0. Total opportunities on the ball 20. Average touch rate per possession was 2.25. So based on that, what I decided to do, and the one thing I know about my son is he's great on the ball, very technical. Vision is really up there. He can really split the seams and find that pass. He's very intelligent about the game. He gets it. But his defending is average. He's watching Neymar way too much. Champions League Neymar, the worst performance I've seen him play. He doesn't work hard defensively. So I showed him this, and that's a conversation we had in the car. It was like, you got to get more takeaways. You got to press the ball. You got to get the ball. So the next game, they were playing CCV the very next day. They win 3-2. He had 1 assist in 45 minutes of play. 37 touches on the ball. 8 were successful going forward. 5 were failures going forward. And not crazy failures. I mean, he's trying to hit through balls that didn't work out or whatever it might have been, but I want it measured. And 3 passes backwards successfully to his team, and 0 failures going backwards, which is always good. You don't want to fail going backwards with a pass, because that means counterattack city. And 1 takeaway on 17 total opportunities with an average touch rate of 2.17. And that is something to really discuss. So he had 1 takeaway. Others on the team, there's certain individual on the team that had many more takeaways, because they take a pride in defending, where my son doesn't. Now, what I did notice with my son is he was working hard pressuring the ball. He was squeezing in the field. He was playing outside mid at one time, and he was squeezing in. And the coach was, get back in position. And the coach is, average as far as his ability to think. I mean, when it was a goal kick, you squeeze in as a team unit. So anyways, it is what it is. So he had him go back out, but my son naturally squeezed in because he wanted to get a takeaway. So it's better to use math to get the tactics you want, so they could think about it, versus you play this position. It's just the brain doesn't compute well there, but they do compute to math and game, trying to create as many successes as possible. And so he did have 1 takeaway. He intercepted a pass, which was very good. Put himself in a great position, but his work rate was much better than the previous game. Wasn't excellent, but it was better. And that's what we want. Isn't that what we want? That's exactly what we want. We want to use math so we can have a conversation and give them these little goals, because if it's always focused on, oh, they lost or they didn't win, and I'm like, then where's the takeaways from it? Where's the thought process? There's no thinking. And you can actually reward them for these things. This is important. You can do this at any level. They do it at the professional level. They record everything they do, where their final pass is. That they measure the distance of the pass. They obviously are recording where they ran and all that stuff. But in our country, for youth development, for our academy teams, DA, MLS academies or whatever it is, the new DA, where U.S. Soccer's not involved. They are involved. They merged back with MLS, but MLS is kind of the lead because they want the name. That's another podcast, which we'll talk about later, but they're involved to screw it up again because all we care about in this country is what? If there's going to be data they want to know the data of how fast they are, how far they can run, put a GPS monitor on, see, find out the distance of how far they went. That doesn't develop anything except the same crap we have in this country is, we work hard, which apparently we don't even work hard. We used to have that American grit. We don't even have that. That's why we didn't make the last World Cup. We didn't even have that. We're trying to survive being pretty and technical and having, TikTok looks with our hair in a way and ear pierces everywhere. Anyways, if you email me at coachcameronpodcast@gmail.com, I will send you other stats I use that you can actually use as a template. You can make this yourself, but if you need help, go ahead and email me. And coaches, if you want help on developing your team, I actually have written out the phases I go through for the kids' development. This is what coaches should be talking about. They should not talk about the win. They should talk about how they're developing individually, because that's the way it should be. So if I'm coaching a game, because when I coach kids, it's all about repetition of opportunity. You want to give as many opportunities for everyone on that team so they can develop their game because they need it. So instead of having a free kick and everyone goes up and we hit a long ball in hopes we're going to score, versus play quickly and get some passes in so everyone has the opportunity to feel the ball in a game. It's important, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. You need to understand this. The game needs to change to stats, data. And the ones that know me and the ones that actually listen to my podcast religiously, I have, and I'll put it in the description, the podcast I talk about a points league I put together. I ran a league with at Westside Complex, which is now Fair Farm. That was all points driven. I mean, you got 1 point for every pass connected. And games, I mean, we had these flip charts and stuff, and it was like 78 to 120, and it had all this, and we had individual champions on goals, assists, passing point, all this stuff. We made it about math, and then I had parents, kid you not, same parents were like, kick it forward kind of crap versus develop. We're saying, kick the ball backwards because you got more points, pass the ball back to the keeper and getting the ball back. It was like an 8-point sequence. So because they wanted to win. So you want to influence this game, you want to change the game, change the rules. Simple math. And at least they're developing. And the player that's already good, we have a lot of these players. And I saw one, a new player that was playing with my son's Tuzo's team. Very talented. I mean, he's just up there. I mean, he's high level, future Division I player, unless we screw it up as a team, as a coach / manager, club. I mean, we can really develop that player to get to develop to his next level by math. So math can solve all. So if you're playing a weak team, and if we go back to the stats, let me show you this real quick. So I'm gonna go back to the stats. So I put the team name and I put the score. If it was like 10-0, then you can have a different conversation because the stats may be different. Say on a 10-0 game, you get a weak competition, and then you find out your son or daughter gave away the ball double the amount that he or she does against a team that presents more difficulty for them. Like a closer game, 3-3, 3-2, it's obviously a more difficult match. So the measurements should be different. So if they should not get lazy when they play weak teams. That's why you got to record that. I think that's very important. You record that so you can really track what's going on. They should get more takeaways. They should improve on that because it's a numbers thing, because you can reward your child or your player in a different way. Hey, you made the 1,000 touch club, or you're the first player on our team to make 200 passes going forward. There's so many different ways of doing this. This is what you should do, ladies and gentlemen. Steal my ideas. I'm giving them to you. This is how you develop teams of any level. They can be developed. Don't focus on winning. Focus on the point system, and it's a big race of how many opportunities you can get with the ball and how many successes you can produce, and then eventually it just becomes easier. And then when your whole team is able to get comfort with the ball, then you can really play some fun soccer by keeping it the way you should. So this is Coach Cameron on giving away as much information as possible. On my next podcast, I'm sure it'll be similar, because this is what needs to be talked about nonstop, in hopes that we can change the game together on this one simple podcast from a man from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, peace out.